Japan, the land of the rising sun, and it's where the Races Driving League rises for its Season 13 finale. Welcome along to the Reverse Grid Japanese Grand Prix final race of the RDL 13th season. I'm your host, Zach RC, bringing you all the action tonight, and as I say, a reverse grid finale. We've got a minute here before we get underway for the formation. I'll be jumping straight into the Grand Prix. I'll be able to take you through your starting lineup from the back of the grid to the front. So, starting dead last is Curtis, alongside him Fugi Fergus. Courtney Goblin starts in 18th and it's Huggy Bear 17th. All four of them have qualifying bans, and the reverse order starts now. So Salve Landlord starts from 16th. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I completely messed up. Blaze starts from 16th, Landlord from 15th, Chailover from 14th, Fan in 3rd, BJ 2nd, Zach Sherman 11th. I said BJ 2nd, nope, Fan's 13th, BJ's 12th, Zach's 11th, and Lucky Lambert starts the top 10. PJ Khaled 9th, Ethan in 8th, Prolol in 7th, Ericsson in 6th, Websy in 5th, Alvar in 4th, 3rd is JB, 2nd is Paris, and Wardy starts on the pole. To my knowledge, that is the starting lineup. I believe there's been a change with the surprise appearance of Season 11 champion Touchby Pope in the field tonight. So looking forward to seeing if he can pull this off in the Haas car. I believe he's taking the place of PJ Khaled. He'll be starting from the back, which promotes everyone below him up a place. And we get ready now for the start of the formation lap. So without further ado, then let's get the final race of this 13th season of the Races Driving League underway. So there are your starting tyres for the race itself then. The majority of drivers looking at the medium tyres, or a few on the hards. Keep an eye out for those guys going to go further on that first stint as the race goes on. We've got plenty of time to answer that question over the course of this evening's race as iWardy leads them to the line. These reverse grid finales can be very entertaining. I've seen two of them in my time commentating on this league, and they've all been absolute chaos. Both the Drivers and Constructors Championships wrapped up, but final positions still on offer down the pack. First and second at secure. Third place could be secured for C110P fan if he beats Jay Oliver. But it's all to play for here in this final race of the season. Waiting now for the lights, and here they come. For the final time here in Season 13. We leave the grid and the reverse grid finale in Japan is underway. It's a great getaway there from Morty on the runs turn 1. Not so good a start though for his teammate behind him there. JB from the first row jumps into the lead, but only for the moment because he's lagged there. And Morty back up into first place, and they're going all over the shop. Morty's pulling over. And I have no idea what's just gone on there. But Wardy now down the pack, all the way down in 18th place. Now it's coming together between the two Ferraris as well. Ericsson now leads the way from JB second. Prolol now looking at third, but trying to take second place if he can. Chaotic start here, unsure as to what's been going on. Prolol looking to challenge JB for the first time as they make their way through the end of the first section and start the second. JB going a little bit wide there, potentially trying to get away from Prolol as best he can, but failing to do so far. Ericsson has pulled out a lead of about 7 or 8 tenths as it stands. He makes his way through towards that long sweeping right-hander in the second sector. He's got a huge advantage. Wardy now back down dead last in the field. A lot of work to do here. Lagging an awful lot as Ericsson makes his way through Spoon for the first time. They'll be on their way down towards 130R. This straight we're about to go down now, formerly a DRS straight. Not anymore. Make their way through towards that right-hander. Who backs out? Curtis out. Retirement already, and it's Curtis there at the side, and the safety car deployed early on in tonight's race. So not the best of starts. Confusing first lap, at least on my end. No idea what happened to Wardy. He's now down at the back of the pack. Ericsson leads the way, and Curtis is out of the race. So a disappointing end to his season. Number of drivers in the pits, one of them being your Drivers' Champion for the season, Salve Blaze. Making a change in front wing, so he's picked up damage on that first lap, and he's also putting on a set of hard tyres as well. Websy going onto the mediums here for Ferrari. And Blaze now has a lot of work to do in this Grand Prix. Now sitting at the back of the pack in P19. Morty gets promoted 2 places. Wardy in the Discord chat claiming he got sent into the Shadow Realm by JB. So not sure if there was contact between them. We didn't see it on our end. Let's take his word for the time being not to comment on the instance. So order's changed a fair bit so far to show you the nature of these reverse grid races. A lot of drivers are already making moves early on. Alvar didn't get the best of getaways from 3rd on the grid. He's dropped just 2 places. He's lucky to only have lost 2. He got really bogged down off the line compared to those around him. And that could have caused some form of accident of him being so far forward in the pack. There's Selway, Blaze and Websy making their way through now to try to rejoin to the back of the pack. If they can rejoin quickly, then we may just have a restart on our hands. I'm not sure if we'll go immediately once they catch back up. However, I would like to see that. We're able to get back to racing as soon as possible. Ericsson then gained 4 places in that opening lap. Whatever happened between JB and Wardy, he's clearly taken advantage of because he's now in the lead. As we wait for Websy and Blaze to close up to the back of the pack. I think we have to be very late to be potentially left to a restart. I think we may have to wait another lap here before we get back to it. Unless it is called now. And I don't think it will be. So we'll go under the safety car for one more lap here. So there's your order then, as it stands. Landlord's gained 3 places. The driver's gained the most out of this, being Lycon in the McLaren, who's also subbing in tonight, and Touch Me Pope in the Haas. So the former champion having a brilliant first lap back in the league. Of course, has to take a back seat over the course of the season. Due to have other matters to think about. But back here tonight making, again, a one-off appearance as we do enjoy seeing. Both Ferraris in the pits here, and they're double stacking, I believe. No, I think they were double stacking there. Not the nicer thing to be doing, but under safety car, so... To my knowledge, Wardy now back in the race. Currently running in P16, thanks to the extra pit stop made by Cottony Goblin. But Websy also choosing to come into the pits as well. So quite an uneventful finale so far in these opening 3 laps. We've spent 2 of them under safety car. I'm thinking hopefully this time be able to get back to racing. If Websy can get his skates on and chase down the back of the pack, we might just have a start on our hands. Let's make our way through Spoon now for the 3rd time. I'm thinking yet again, with no chance at a restart. I'm thinking he might catch up in time. Never know. It may be a chance at a late start. However, Connie Gobbins also dropped quite far back, presumably to warm up his tyres before the restart. Everyone quite split up. We'll go one more lap. Unfortunately, we're on the safety car. In terms of weather, by the looks of things, the clouds covering the Suzuka circuit to a very high extent. Whether we'll see some rain over the course of this race, unsure at this stage. When we think to real life, we've seen a lot of rain on the Suzuka circuit in its lifetime, especially hosting Japanese Grand Prix. Of course, in fact, just this year alone, the race being red flag and held off for a long time. And a Verstappen win, enough for him to seal his 2nd consecutive World Championship. We have both Red Bulls in the pack today. One of them being Ethan, who is so kindly hosting tonight's events. But a few connectivity issues at the start of tonight, and hence why we didn't get going at normal time. But commendments must go to Ethan and to JB in particular for helping us get through those problems and getting us racing tonight. And also to JB in particular just for managing the league the way he does. keeping it all up to time. So again, appreciation must go to a number of names at the end of the season, but also to the drivers themselves who show up week in, week out in order just to race each other and give us some entertainment. So always appreciated on that end. Right. Looks like Fan and Blaze both came into the pits while I was busy giving my appreciations. So they now sit at the back of the pack. Fan in 18th. Now he needs to beat Che Oliver to guarantee a third place finish in the Drivers' Championship. 22 points separating them. So a win for Che Oliver and a finish outside of the top 8, I believe, would seal third place for the McLaren driver. So it's quite a mountain to climb, and it requires Fan being back there where he is now. As I say, these reverse grid races are absolute chaos, so see if he can pull it off. We're going to get some racing laps under our belts now. Safety car in this lap. There goes the Mercedes machine pulling off into the distance, and it's an Aston Martin leading a Mercedes. That's something we've seen quite a lot under safety cars this season. And Ericsson choosing just before the final chicane to try and get away as best he can before we get back to green flag conditions. Down the hill, better traction on the exit, pulling a lead of about 7-8 tenths as they cross the line to begin lap 5. We're back underway here in Japan. And the top 3 have really pulled away to a spectacular advantage here. Ethan now sits 1.5 seconds back from Prolol in the 3rd spot. He's got the Williams breathing down his neck. That's Alvar there. His teammate Wardy down in 15th place, having started on pole, but that unfortunate incident in the opening lap. JB, the only Mercedes still in this race. Of course, Curtis brought out the initial safety car on the first lap. And we're thinking that we'll see Salvio Blaze get right to work here and trying to make his way up through the pack. Only 2 drivers as of right now staying where they started. Those 2 drivers being JB and Courtney Goblin, who's had a fair share of position changes already due to those pit stops and just simply gaining from those who have pitted behind. Little 3-car train here. Ethan, Alvar and Zach Sherman. We've got a move going around the outside there. That's Lucky Lambert making his way around BJ for the 7th spot. If I wasn't just seeing things, that was a spectacular pass that we only just missed from the Alfa Romeo driver, the Season 10 champion. Alvar using his battery to his advantage here. Down this straight, he's getting a decent tow off the back of the Red Bull machine as they make their way through 130R for the 5th time. Ethan holding him off for the time being. Had a bit of worry down the main straight. Fastest lap being set there by Ericsson. So 1 minute 33.3. That's the sort of pace you're expecting from the drivers here tonight. No qualifying to really tell us who's got the edge on this circuit. So we have to see how we take it. There's Lucky Lambert there, still in the 7th position, trying to chase down Zach Sherman, trying to join that little 3-car train. Never mind a Trilly train. It's being led by that Red Bull machine now, sitting 2 seconds behind Prolol and JB. If they get any closer, may really start duking it out for that 2nd place spot, all the while allowing Ericsson to pull away into the distance. That's a 2.1 second lead he's got. JB's gone a bit wide there. It's the 2nd time he's done that. And Prolog could see fit to try and take advantage. A late dive down the inside. Not out of the question, but definitely not in that left-hander there. Lucky Lambert now looking to the outside of Zach Sherman, trying to make something happen if he can. He's looking all over the shop, trying to find some kind of opening. Quite similar to how Prolol, his teammate from tonight, doing the exact same thing with JB. Now DRS gets deployed on the next lap. There's only 1 DRS zone now on this circuit, but I don't think Prolol needs that rear wing being open. He's got the battery to his advantage, and JB pulls into line behind him, move Prolol up to 2nd place in the Japanese Grand Prix. Now JB could see fit to try and make a move down the main straight as well. Ethan still holding off that collection. Alvar, Zach Sherman, Lucky Lambert now joining that train as DRS gets deployed for the first time. Back with Touch with Hope now. He's jumped up to P11. He's gained 9 places so far, and he's just set the fastest lap for good measure. Say what you like about him, that Haas is quick. And to my knowledge, won last season's race in Japan, if I remember correctly. Took a handful of victories last year, one of them coming in Hungary. And the other one in Japan. he'll be looking to try and do the same thing here if he can. But he's got to get around Lycon and McLaren to make his way up into the points paying places. It's going to be very tight between these guys. Landlord now into 8th place, currently chasing Lucky Lambert. A lot of grass being kicked up there, someone went a bit wide. And Landlord one opening on the exit as best he can. We got a real pack race going on behind. Blaze to the inside of Sniper Hunter. The pair go side by side. But on the exit, it's the Alpine who emerges on top. Huggy Bear might try and take advantage if he can. Now, thanks to his qualifying ban, he's unable to. He would have started from pole position, to my knowledge, given the fact that he currently sits 20th in the Drivers' Championship with only 10 points to his name this season. Websy now looking to the inside. And might get the job done here into 130. Other side by side. Oh, both cars going wide there. Huggy trying to rejoin as best he can, but Websy not quite giving him the room there. Oh, was there contact? There's a yellow flag back there, and I think everyone's okay though. It's Che Oliver who's gone around in the McLaren and now sits down at the back of the pack. All of a sudden, those chances of getting third in the championship looking very, very dim indeed. And now he's got a lot of work to do, maybe hoping for another safety car in order to get back into this race. JB's fallen back here from Prolor, who started chasing down the race leader. He keeps going wide at these corners here. That particular set, he's only able to find a way around them so far. And as a result, Alvar is closing in fast. He's already got himself within a second range. I think there was a bit of a wobble there on the exit from the Silver Arrow. So, coming towards the end of lap number 8 now, Ericsson with a 2-second advantage more or less over Prolol in second place, who's really trying to get the lead out in order to try and close in and try and take the lead for himself. Alvar there in 4th place, chasing down JB in 3rd, and he's really doing a good job of that. We could see a battle down the main straight with the use of the ERS. Sillington P-Fan further back, passing Huggy Bear. And there goes Lucky Lambert, who may have just gone falling down the order a bit. Down to P11. Alvar closing in. Can he take any advantage for DRS? It doesn't look like he has down this main straight. He's closed in a bit, but not enough. Now Lucky Lambert maybe had a bit of a problem in Sector 3. Oh, and he's made another mistake there, going a bit wide on the exit. Not quite sure what happened there. He stood over a bit too much on the exit of turn number 2. And now finds himself down in P11. He was battling BJ there, but the AlphaTauri driver comes out on top in that fight. He's bidding to try and hold on to his 5th place finish. With PJ Caledon available tonight, as of right now, only Zach Sherman can take it from him. Currently sits in 6th place, 15 points between them. A win for Zach Sherman, something to my knowledge, something which we are yet to see in his RDL career. And a finish outside of the top 5 for BJ would mean that Zach Sherman would finish in 5th, which to my knowledge would be his record highest finish in the RDL at the end of the season. He's looking to try and nab 5th off the Red Bull of Ethan if he can. And there he goes, charging by on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, going into 130R, and he's up into P5 now. Great move, and Landlord might try and follow him through as best he can. He's going to go to the outside here. Come very, very close. Ethan all over the track there on the inside, trying to stay with Zach Sherman. There goes Lycon looking on the outside, trying to make something happen on Landlord. Long DRS train here, and Landlord getting right to work, wasting no time in getting around Ethan as his teammate, Salvo Blaze, sets the fastest lap of the race. Toshi Pope there in 9th. He's gained 2 more spots. Oh, and there goes Ethan off the track. And hand another one to Pope and another one to Lycon as well. 7th and 8th for those 2 cars. And Landlord up into 6th. He started down in P13 to my knowledge. And now Zach Sherman will be his next target. 3 seconds now separating Alvar from Prolol, who's really closing in on. We've got a yellow flag, and that's Huggy Bear's around. Oh, that's a nasty shunt. And both cars, Che Oliver and Huggy Bear, now out of the race. And for the second time in 10 laps, the safety car redeployed on lap number 10. And all of a sudden, the top 4 now decided, and we can draw a line under those 4, as they are now set in stone. C110P Fan will finish this season in 3rd place. Che Oliver will finish 4th. They can't be caught by anyone behind them. Unfortunate way to end the season for Huggy Bear and for Che Oliver, both of whom have had such enjoyable seasons. But for the cars on track, we now get to see some strategy. And Prolol hit with an immediate issue, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But I can tell you, we caught that moment on stream, and that would not be a moment that Che Oliver nor Huggy Bear will want to watch back. That was a nasty looking instant. Ericsson first out of the pits, Prolol in 2nd place, Alvar 3rd, JB Delta 4th. Lionel 5th, he gets out just in front of Zach Sherman, and Pope's getting another place over Lycon as well. Ethan now down in 9th. He's on a set of soft tyres here, the one driver to actually go on those. And everyone in the race now made their first mandatory pit stop. Blaze having made his 3rd stop of the race here. We're only 10 laps in. It's been a very exciting one so far from this opening number of laps. Now, everyone should be able to catch up quite quickly here, and we could have a restart on our hands almost right away. At least I'm hoping that'll be the case. I'm hoping we have to go for a couple of laps before we have to get going again. So Ericsson leads them, Prolol 2nd. And it's Alvar running in 3rd place. So everyone's now joined up at the back of the pack. And we could get a restart very quickly here. Everyone's trying to warm their tyres up. I'm thinking we should be able to get the majority of these drivers to the end of the race. And the anyone set hard tyres can definitely go to the end. The guys on mediums, if we get another safety car, maybe, and the soft drivers, or I think that's the one soft driver in the pack, that being Ethan, I think that's just about out of the question. The weather looking okay for the time being. No threat, at least visually, of rain. I'll have to keep an eye on that later into the race. So lap number 12 here. 15 laps to go. Websy into the pits for a fresh set of medium tyres. Well, sorry, a slightly used set of mediums. They're only used for 1 lap, so more or less fresh. So no problems for him there. The medium tyres, when pushed to the point where you probably should pit and go around 12 laps or so. So I think a late safety car will be very convenient from lap 20 onwards for a number of these drivers. 6 of them to be exact. Zach Sherman, Lycon, BJ, Lucky Lambert, Connie Goblin and Websy. Just keep an eye on the 2 Ferraris into the late stage of this race. Got to wait on Websy to catch up now. He's doing that with ease at this point. Ericsson has led, not since the light went out, but since the opening laps incidents. JB briefly led. Ericsson snatched it from him and he's led the way since. So waiting now for the safety car to come into the pit lane. And hopefully this time we'll have a restart on our hands. There we go. Safety car in this lap. Right, 15 more laps left to go in this race. The Aston Martin of Ericsson shows the way. The Aston Martin's doing quite well in this Grand Prix. Looking to try and finish in front of Alfa Romeo if they can. And potentially even Ferrari if Zak Sherman makes up a few more places. For Alfa Romeo, 18 points currently being scored for them. 25 going the way of Ericsson. And another 8 going the way of Zak Sherman. We'll do the math later because we're back to racing here. And Alvar trying to get right to work, looking around an opening on Prolol. Has to be very careful as you go through turn 1 here. All single file apart from Lycon is looking around at Touchy Pope, but quickly draws back into line. Side by side, Blaze and BJ. The AlphaTauri and the Alpine drivers knowing no bounds with wheel-to-wheel combat. And Landlord pushing past JB, but JB fighting right back downstairs. He moves back up into the 4th spot and defending from the former champion. We've got a car in the back, and that is Wardy. And the pole sitters race goes from bad to worse. Spins out down to P17. And I can't imagine this is a brilliant evening for Wardy. A race had potential to be so much more. Falling out of the window as we speak. And short of Alvar scoring some more points. Then Williams may be by just 1 point at the foot of the table this season. 6 points separating Williams from Mercedes. So the battle for 9th all comes down to where Alvar and JB finish. And if Wardy can potentially get up into the points in the late stages. Ericsson has not been able to pull away as much this time. He's leads still about a second or so. Prolol keeping with him so far on that first lap. But this might be the point where Ericsson starts to pull away. Let's see what he can do. Alvar with the iconic fish helmet making his way towards turn 1. Websey sets the fastest up of the race. No points on offer though. Lycon and Pope going side by side into the first corner. It's very tight between them. Lycon, no quarter given there. But Pope gets him around the outside, and the former champion continues his charge through the order from dead last on the grid. Great first half to the race for him. Ethan on the soft tires, he's yet to be able to make those work. And Blaze and BJ going at it once again. BJ still coming out on top. Those two come very close to contact there. You saw how close they got into the right hander. The champion looking around, unfazed. Oh, BJ makes a mistake, goes way wide there. Blaze takes full advantage. Oh, and there's contact between them there. A little bit of rubbing. And BJ now finds himself behind the Alpine, but perhaps not for long. He's looking to the inside again. They came very close to contact once more. How have they not made contact yet? Yellow flag, and that's JB! And Zak Sherman involved as well. Safety car for the 3rd time tonight. JB out. And all of a sudden, it looks like Mercedes in the W13, which didn't do so well compared to Mercedes' normal standards in F1, will now be sitting at the foot of the table in the RDL for season 13. Ethan now taking full advantage, coming into the pit lane. He's going to bolt on a fresh set of medium tyres. And those should see him out to the end. But Alvar in 3rd. If he can score, if he can place in 6th or higher, then that will push Williams into 9th. If he can score if he can outscore Red Bull by 13 points combined, then they will finish in 8th. If he can outscore them by 14, so it's all to play for at the bottom here between 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. 14 points separating them. And previously it looked to be going a lot of the way of Aston Martin. It kept it in their favour, and they were looking to try and beat Alfa Romeo, which is unlikely they'll do tonight now. Zak Sherman at the back of the pack, however, not out of the race. JB out, unfortunately. Unfortunate way for him to end the season. Can't imagine he'll be too pleased with that. Iwaldi now, after that spin, back up in 11th place. This race has been up and down for him in particular. And there's every chance for him making his way through towards the front. So 12 laps to go when they cross the line. This is our third safety car of this Japanese Grand Prix. And we're hoping we won't see many more, if at all. And it's Ericsson who's led the majority of the way. Prolol still in second place. He's been chasing him down since we got back to racing on after the first lap crashes. Alvar there in third. Landlord in fourth now. JB no longer defending from the former champion Landlord. I'm keeping my eye on Pope throughout the entire race so far. Started down in dead last. He now finds himself incredibly in 5th place. And if he can hold on to that, that would be quite spectacular. Everyone in the pack now joined up to each other, so he should be able to get back to racing this time around. Lap number 16 in this race. 11 to go. But as I've been saying, Pope there currently sitting in 5th place. He won in Japan last season, looking to go back to back in a race that a few hours ago we weren't sure if he'd be competing in. He's now here, and everyone better get used to it, because, or at least for the next 11 laps or so, because he is on an absolute mission. Ericsson sensing what would be, to my knowledge, his first victory in the RDL. We've already had a first time winner this season in Che Oliver, who won a few weeks ago at the United States Grand Prix. And the safety car in this lap, so he's 11 laps away from win number 1. Prolol also there, looking to become the second player from outside of Xbox play to win here in the RDL. However, he's got to get around that Aston Martin, which has been far and away one of the best cars out there. And all he's got to do is hold on for 11 laps. Lycon making his way through. Pope with a poor restart. He's gone way wide and he's lost 2 places just like that. We're back on the way here on lap number 17. Landlord getting right to work on Alvar into turn number 1. Going way on the curbs there. Alvar may have to back out of this one. And he does. Lycon, 5-second penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. Where was the yellow is my question. Where was it? Because I didn't see it. Ericsson pulling out 2.3 seconds within the first sector alone. This is spectacular driving we're witnessing here from the Aston Martin man. And he's pulling away from the Alfa Romeo machine behind him. Landlord now in third. Go around Alvar with ease. Lycon on those slightly worn medium tyres, being chased by the other Alpine who's come out of nowhere. That's Saleh Blaze, who dives to the inside and gets the job done. Yellow flag behind. That's Websy out. And could that be another safety car? I'm thinking by the looks of it, we might be okay. And never mind, I've jinxed it. Commentator's curse strikes again, and the safety car number 4 is deployed. Down to just 15 cars now in this Grand Prix. And now strategy opens up perhaps a little bit more. But within the final 10 laps of this race, do we see anyone pit for a fresh set of tyres? Ericsson staying out. Alvar coming in. Lycon joining him. Both Alpines have stayed out. Pope's going to gain 2 more places back. They lost on the restart. So Lycon in now. Fresh set of soft tyres going on the cover. First, that 5-second penalty to serve for ignoring the yellow flag. Lycon on soft tyres. And this might be smarter than you might think. Because we're going to do at least 2 or 3 laps under safety car at this rate. And that'll take us to around lap number 20. At which point, those tyres only need to do about 7 or 8 laps. So they won't quite max out. They may fall off towards the end, but they won't max out. Now let's put Zach Sherman against BJ in a slightly better position. 15 points between them. And that will require, as of right now, a second place finish for Zach Sherman. So still a lofty mountain to climb. Ericsson once again his lead pegged back. It's just a few tenths with the Alfa Romeo right there behind him. Still a lot of racing to be done. In no way is this one over. We've got at least one more lap of safety car conditions before we get back to it. Now we've done a lap on the safety car. Do we see anyone come into the pits now? That's a wait. Track position might just be maintained here. That might be the more important thing at this stage of the Grand Prix. Any takers? We'll have to keep an eye out. I'm thinking that no one's coming in. Yep, that is correct. Everyone stays out to maintain track position. There are the 2 Alpines in 3rd and 4th. Both championships already wrapped up for them. Lando looking to try and put down a marker tonight by beating his teammate Blaze. A way of saying to him, you may have won this championship, but the next one, same as it was before, we go again, and he won't be giving this one up easily either. As it closes down now on the final laps of this season. Let's have a look at position change over the course of this race. The driver who's getting the most remains Touchy Pope. Sniper Hunt's doing quite well on the Red Bull himself. But they're also trying to chase in order to beat Aston Martin. However, that's looking quite a lofty task, short of something going wrong for Ericsson, who's been up at the top of the type. I can't speak at the top of the table since we got underway, more or less. Prolol has been trying to chase him down, but to no avail. He's going to need to really dig deep in these final 8 laps if we get underway this time. There's your number of stops. Blaze has made 3 stops. BJ's also made 3 stops. Websy made 5 before retiring. And there are your penalties. Prolol has 5, which I'm assuming will be taken away. Wait, no, sorry, I'm not thinking they will, because he got those for speeding in the pit lane. So he will most likely not lose those. 3 seconds for Sniper Hunter and 3 seconds for his Red Bull teammate Ethan. Right, safety car in this lap. This could be the last few racing laps of this season, and for a good few weeks we'll be back underway for season 14 in Bahrain. Ericsson waiting this time to go. And really bunching them up, and he's almost put Prolol off onto the gravel. He's not going yet. He's going wide this time, looking for a better exit. And he doesn't quite get it. Prolol sticking with him. We're back on the way. And this is Prolol's best opportunity to try and take the lead. They go side by side and towards the first corner. It's very tight between them. Wheel to wheel stuff. Prolol onto the grass. Ericsson going a bit wide there. Might have to cede. Ericsson just about holding on here. Connie Goblin up into 7th, just past eye warning. Around goes the pole sitter, recovering the car. An unfortunate pirouette. And Pope now getting around Blaze. Touchy Pope in the Haas now separates the 2 Alpine cars. And there's no front wing on Blaze's car. There must have been contact. Not sure who with. But Blaze now all over the place. Trying to hold on to things. But to no avail. He'll end up losing spots. It's chaos for the back. There's a bit more contact. Zach Sherman's front wing. And then plate's just been snapped off. After contact with Lucky Lambert, who's falling through the pack. It's become complete chaos here on this restart. Lycon now back in the points paying places. Sniper Hunter forcing BJ wide. There goes the AlphaTauri off onto the grass and onto the gravel. And he joins Iwardy back there in P14. Ericsson unable to pull away. Prolol with a 5-second penalty. If he wants to win this race, he's got to try and get away. He's got to try and take the lead and then get away as best he can. Blaze still having trouble here. Now if Sim Blaze tries to go to the end on the damage on no front wing, will he try it here? Will he pit? He's pitting this time. In he comes, and there must be a fresh set of soft tyres going on that car. Lap 21 now, this Grand Prix. Lycon and Courtney Goblin. Courtney Goblin in a brilliant position here. If they can score 9 points, more than Haas, who also have one car left in the race. Something goes wrong for Touchy Pope, and Courtney Goblin can outscore him by 9. Then Ferrari will finish in a quite spectacular 4th place this season. After the woes of last season, with Luigi Sven and Courtney Goblin at the wheel, it's been a complete turnaround. With the inclusion of Websy in the team. Ericsson unable to get away as best as he can as he has the previous restarts. Landlord breathing down the neck of the Alfa Romeo. And the battery being used for both cars here. Ericsson not using his. Both the two chasers closing on him. Pope there in 4th, trying to nab a surprise podium. No one could have predicted this. Lycon getting around Courtney Goblin at 130R. And part of me thought Courtney Goblin was going to hit the back of the McLaren there by mistake. And there goes Alvaro up the inside. Sorry, you're trying to make something happen on BJ. Not quite. The AlphaTauri driver holding on to that points paying place he has right now. 6 laps to go in the season. DRS now deployed. Prolol needs to stick with Ericsson as much as he can over the next lap in order to try and get the DRS back on the car and try and make a pass for the lead. And if he can then pull away from that to a second lead, then he might just have a chance at winning this race. We've seen the leader Ericsson be able to pull away to decent distances in short runs. We only had a few short runs over the course of this Grand Prix, being disturbed by constant safety cars left, right and centre. We've had 4 of them today. BJ and Zach Sherman battling there for the 9th spot. BJ's gotten away here. Yellow flag, sector 2. Who is that? And that's Prolol who's gone around. No! The plucky underdog who may have had a chance at trying to beat Ericsson today. And Wardy getting in there for good measure. And the race is all falling apart for Prolol, who's got another penalty there for a slightly mild contact with Wardy. Not quite sure why it's given him severe. But now this might just leave no challengers for Ericsson. And Pope now chasing Landlord. And he is within DRS range. 2 former champions about to go head to head down the main straight at Suzuka, a place that has crowned so many Formula 1 world champions in the past. But Landlord got a brilliant exit there. 5 more laps left to go. Lycon now setting the fastest lap of the race. What a brilliant reserve performance he's put in today. BJ now setting the fastest lap for himself. Ericsson in control. Landlord closing in though. If he can keep dragging these guys along with him. Wardy gets a 5-second penalty here for speeding in the pit lane. And again, the race, the pole sitter, going even further down the kitchen sink. And Blaze now setting the fastest lap for himself. 1:30.9. If there are a few more instances, he can gain 4 more places. He'll get an extra point for that. That'll be 1 last point to tack on to his championship effort this season. Touchy Pope staying within 6 tenths here of Landlord. Courtney Goblin falling back here, battling both Ethan and BJ. BJ now trying to pull alongside the Red Bull, not quite getting in there. 3-car race for that 6th spot. Ethan has a penalty here, so most likely BJ will come out on top in this little battle. It's 3.5 seconds back to Zach Sherman in 9th place, so Ethan may just be finishing in 8th here at this stage. Yeah, but nothing is guaranteed in this business. And Lycon now chasing C110P fan has gone quite under the radar over the course of this Grand Prix. I haven't seen too much of him, but now finds himself in the right place at the right time. P4 with just 4 laps to go. And Ericsson trying to get away, but nothing going on. Landlord, the wily old fox out there, smelling one last chance at victory. But Pope, also a former champion of the series, looking to try and close in. Ethan and BJ going side by side. There goes the AlphaTauri around the outside with a better traction, plus those soft tyres to his advantage, to his benefit. And he now puts himself into the 6th position. And his bid to maintain his 5th place finish in the Drivers' Championship will be successful, provided things will stay how they are. And AlphaTauri maintaining 2nd place in the Constructors' Championship, unable to retain their title, unable to lose 2nd. They're about 116 points clear of the McLarens in 3rd. Lycon about to add 10 more points to that team's endeavours. 1.2 seconds now separating Landolf from Ericsson. Pope still there within 7 tenths. Now a battle between Landlord and Ericsson could allow Pope to catch up and provide us a quite entertaining last to first finish. Pope can still do it, but he's got a lot of work to do now within these next 3 laps. Ericsson's made a huge mistake there, and Landlord senses that. Like a shark sensing blood in the water, he's looking for that top spot to try and claim one more win this season. He won last time out in Abu Dhabi. Yellow flag, and that is Lycon, who spun out the final corner. He's got to wait. He doesn't want to come up in front of anyone here. Gets the car turned around nice and safe. Oh, quite a few cars coming quite close to him. That's going to push McLaren out of the points completely. Here's Alvar chasing Zach Sherman down the main straight. He's going to look to the outside at turn 1. It's very tight between them. Is Zach Sherman still going with that end plate loss? Yes, he is. He's doing a brilliant job there in 8th. Now Pope closer to Landlord than Landlord is to Ericsson. In terms of the gap, about 1.4 seconds separating the top 3. It's 2.2 between the leader and C110P fan in 4th. Alvar now passing Zach Sherman, and it looks like Snap Hunter might try and take advantage as well. Nope, not going to happen. And Pope reeling in Landlord's Alpine machine. Gonna have just 2 more laps to go when these guys cross the line. And Blaze now gets a 5-second penalty. Excuse me, a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. This one's going to get very tight. I haven't seen a closer finish to an RDL race in a while. The last close finish I can remember was Hungary last season, which Pope took. He's in a position where he can do so again. But Landlord's on the DRS and there's no struggle getting around Ericsson to turn 1. Landlord takes the lead, but don't count Ericsson out yet. Pope getting very close to the back of that Aston Martin. They can't allow Landlord to pull away. If he pulls away now, this race might just be over. And he's already pulled out half a second. And Pope might just be going for 2nd place. C110P fans still there. Within a second of Pope. Lap and a half to go as it stands. A Landlord mistake is what Ericsson and Pope will be hoping for. Watching and praying and hoping for an unforced error from Pope. There's a reason why he's won the RDL Championship multiple times over. It's because he doesn't make those little mistakes. And now, after losing the championship in Brazil 2 weeks ago, he's looking to finish off the season as best he can with 2 wins to close out a statement end to the year, or to the season rather. And Pope trying to prove to us he's still got it And now making a move on Ericsson, who's now seeing his first win, going skidding and drifting away. Pope now in second position. A mistake from Landlord on the final lap could lead to an unforgettable Touch Me Pope victory. Final lap of the motor race. Final lap of the season here for season 13. Pope on the DRS. This will be his biggest chance to try and gain as much time as he can. We've seen him close down. He's brought the gap to about half a second now between the two of them. Both of them on 16 lap hold hards. It all might just come down to who wants it more. If Landor can get away, that might just be it. And it might just be it already. 6-7 tenths is difficult to make up at Suzuka. It's even harder to get around him, especially if it's Salve Landlord. But this is Touch Me Pope we're talking about. This would be a real against the odds victory, and he does look to be closing in on the former champion as he marks the end of his title defense season. Not much longer to go now. If Pope's got anything left, he'll have to use it quick. But Landor's got a decent amount of VRS still stored up. He can use that to try and get away. This race might just be over. A gallant effort from Pope, but he just needed a little bit more time. And both of them using all the battery they can. A mistake from Landlord could change everything still. He's not over yet. He's not out of the whistle. He crosses the line. The reverse grid finale, as it does season after season, serving up absolute chaos. But it's Landlord who puts down the marker and wins the final race of the season. He takes victory in Japan. Pope home in second, and Ericsson snagging third from Fan. Less than a tenth between them. BJ home in fifth. Then it's Ethan in sixth place. Courtney Goblin will take sixth officially thanks to that penalty. Alvar home in eighth. Zach Sherman in ninth, and Lycon might just lose the last point of the season to Lucky Lambert on the line. And according to the Times, Lucky Lambert got it. So Lucky Lambert takes the final win of the final point of the season. And here comes your champion, getting a moment all of his own as he makes his way through the final corners. It's been a brilliant year for him. He'll come to the line today in 14th, but come the end of the season, he is a 5-time Racers Driving League champion. But it's his teammate, Salve Landlord, who takes his second consecutive victory, his 7th of the season. It's been a good season for him. Not good enough though. And next season he will come back a lot stronger, and hopefully we'll see some new challengers joining the fray. Keep an eye on Che Oliver in particular. He could pose a major threat. BJ and C110P fan, that AlphaTauri lineup. Unsure as to what the teams will be next season. The partnerships are secure, but we won't reveal them for now. What we can do now is enjoy the end of this season and cap it all off. It's Salve Landlord who wins the Japanese Grand Prix. The end of a quite frankly brilliant season. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Missed the first few races on this channel. For the last time this season, the Alpine driver comes through, take a top step on the podium. It's been a dominant season for the Alpine team as Landor Griddy's on the podium. Pope in second, and Ericsson, who had such a brilliant race and very much as deserving of the race victory, comes home in third. Spectacular day all around here in Japan. And the celebrations start for the last time this season. Can Landlord return to challenge Salve Blaze for the title? Will we see some new challengers in the picture in terms of the championship this time around in a season's time? We'll have to wait and see though. For the time being though, your final results: Landlord takes the win, Pope in second place, Ericsson in third. Then it is C110P fan fourth, BJ fifth, capping off a second place finish in the constructors for AlphaTauri, Connie Goblin sixth, Ethan seventh, Alvar eighth, Zach Sherman ninth, and Lycon in 10th place. It's Lucky Lambert in 11th, Sniper Hunter in 12th, Prolol 13th, Blaze ends his championship season in 14th, Woody 15th, and the 5 retirees: Websy, JB, Che Oliver, Huggy Bear, and Curtis. So all in all, the end to another fantastic season of Racers Driving League action. If you want to stick around for next season, make sure to like, share the stream and subscribe to the channel for all future Racers Driving League content as we head into Season 14. What will happen? Who will come out on top? We'll have to wait and find out. But until next time, I have been your host, Zach RC, bringing you all the action of this quite fantastic league. Thank you to all the drivers and everyone who takes part in helping the league make it a success. And thank you all for watching over the course of the season. Until next time, we shall see you later. Goodbye.